something along those lines, I wasn't begging for anything Kid Cudi related, but Kid Cudi hit us with a couple of projects, a couple of works of art this weekend. We've got a movie special on Netflix called Entergalactic. I guess we can clap it up for it. I enjoyed it. We'll talk about it here in a second. And alongside of that, he also released a. We were trying to figure out what term to use to describe it earlier before we got on. A type of like paired album, like a soundtrack album, but it's not a soundtrack. It is the soundtrack to the album, but it's not titled as Intergalactic soundtrack. So I don't know if it's an official soundtrack or if it's an official Kid Cudi project. However, there is speculation that this may or may not. I think this is his 10th or 9th or 10th studio album.
That's kind of crazy.
I know. I didn't realize he made that many. But he was interviewed or something along those lines. Maybe it was on premiere night of his special. But reporters got word that he said that this may or may not be his last album. Kid Cudi may be coming to an end as a musician.
I think.
Any thoughts about that?
I think he's being a crybaby.
Crybaby. Now that would have people assume that if you're a crybaby, you have something to cry about. That would cause you to have some type of tantrum.
His mentor disowned him. So
you think this is his way of catching attention from his mentor?
Cudi is soft.
His Mr. Miyagi?
Cudi is soft. Yeah, Cudi is soft, bro.
It's no question that Kid Cudi he suffers mentally.
He starts shit. They clap his ass like when he started shit with Drake, and then all of a sudden, am I making fun of his mental health? I'm just stating what happened. He's in a psychiatric ward. He's getting help because he can't take the Drake fans getting in his ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
But why did you start shit? So what I'm saying is like he has a history of being very sensitive mentally. I'm not making fun of him for that, but I'm just saying like right now, this whole thing with Kanye stans are like terrorizing him. Like they're legitimately harassing him. Like, do not fuck with Kanye fans. Kanye fans are like,
they get in that ass.
They are nuts. Like, they're nuts. Kanye fans
they get
are
in that
nuts. Ass. So they're in his ass, and I don't think he's taking it well. So he's right now. It's like, this is probably my last album, but he didn't say.
Oh, so you think he's just
people are not
appreciating
me?
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I was ready to come on here, and we're going to talk about Entergalactic because I have a little bit of a review for it. I was ready to get on here and have a conversation about whether or not Kid Cudi is even deserving of being called talented. Before I watched Entergalactic, I mean, I was really anticipating this being shitty.
Mm-hmm.
I no longer can say that. But I think that, I just wanted to say that point just as, like, I think there might be a small narrative about Kid Cudi, and I say that sarcastically, small narrative, right? Because I think most people can really tell that he is soft mentally, and there's no problem with that. He gets the help that he needs, and in order to mitigate the softness. I don't know if this might sound problematic, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think I really have anything else to add to that.
Yeah, I don't really have anything other than don't get me wrong. I'd be mad if I was performing and people threw water bottles at me, but I wouldn't let them stop me getting a check. I would have had the security go get that ass. So,
yeah.
so
to move a little bit into a little bit of a review about the special, just because the end of Kid Cudi musically maybe doesn't mean it's going to be the end of Kid Cudi creatively. Because I'm gonna be honest, I've seen he seems to be working more in film and TV right now. Anyway, especially as of the last few years. I don't know about you, but I've been seeing like Kid Cudi has cameos in this movie, just weird cameos. Like even if it's just cameos, like I think he's venturing into a little bit of a different medium of creativity. So we see Entergalactic, which is a Netflix movie. Sure, we could say it's Netflix. Netflix fucking produces everything. They'll throw money at literally everything, whatever. But this was actually pretty good, and the cast that they got was up to par. I mean, this is a cast. They had Timothée Chalamet. They had the one girl from, I wish I had her name. I think I have her name somewhere in here. Hold on, let me check. The girl from Spider-Man, she plays Mary Jane.
Oh yeah.
The black chick, really, really beautiful. She was
Wait,
in
you
this.
mean Zendaya?
No. Oh, does Zendaya play Mary Jane? Okay, so she plays Gwen.
Oh, in the first one?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's her? Do you know her name? I thought I had her name on hand. I do
Not
not.
off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm spending way too much time on her name. If you could find her name, that'd be nice.
Let me see.
But yeah, it's a heavy cast. Ty Dolla $ign's in it. You know what I mean?
Dang.
Like Kenya Barris is in it. You know, big cast. So people definitely believed in
These
this
are
project.
actors. These are they're not just making music for the soundtrack.
Yeah,
Right? Wow.
yeah, bro. Look at the cast yourself. You know, if you find it, read off that cast. Like the cast is something serious. This isn't for play. You know, so I think he definitely has a future in another lane. I think I was shocked to see it actually be completed, to finish that sentence off, because and you know, they had their little beef or whatever, but Kid Cudi, remember, he did have that thing he was trying to do, that animated series or something he was trying to do with Kanye. Remember that? Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of surprised to see this be finished and to have it be like legitimately good. This was a legitimately good rom-com type story. I'm a sucker for romance. Coming into it, I wanted to hate on it immediately. I wanted to hate on it. I'm a Kid Cudi hater. You know, I'm not. I think it's the expectations of me thinking that he's so talented that when he doesn't deliver, it's like, fuck.
I just don't get the Kid Cudi hate, bro. I've never got it. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
I
think
don't
it's
think
just
he's the most talented guy in the world, but I definitely think wherever place he's at, he earned that. I think
possibly,
yeah.
possibly, it's possible. It's definitely a debate to have. But in general, yeah, love the project. Really, really good. I think that another thing about it that I loved was that the fact that it was a black story. But the entire time, you're not thinking this has anything to do with black people.
Yeah, you get to for a second. You really get to for a second, not because we have too many stories where they focus on, which is very real. Like, we have very real problems we have to deal with in America that I don't want to get into right now. But It's a breath of fresh air to have a black story that's just, they're just people having an experience, you know?
They're just it's just a black story, bro. It's just a black story. That representation is very, very elite. And of course, and I think the brilliance of it, you know, and I think the irony of it as well, the fact that earlier this year, Netflix not only laid off workers that were working on their animation production side of their company, but they also laid off a lot of their minority-led houses and departments, like Strong Black Lead, or I think that's what it was called, Strong Black Lead. And to come out with this magic, that just goes to show you, like, hey, you're trying to cut costs and make sure you're getting guaranteed returns. Well, nigga, right in front of you, there's fucking black stories that are here, simple black stories, just waiting to be created. This is a story about literally, I guess, a character that's based off of Kid Cudi, just living in New York, creative, living in New York, meets a girl, also a creative, hit it off. Mm-hmm. Period. You know, you can make all these white stories, The Notebook, La La Land, all this type of shit, right?
Add some seasoning. Add some, you know what I mean?
Hey, you got fire. You got some heat.
Man, add some mashed potatoes. You got some heat.
You got some heat. Yeah, but we don't have to stay on this for too much longer. I had to admit it. Like, I had to come in here and give and clap it up for him. I give him one last applause because I had to give it up for Kid Cudi. He actually came out, and maybe this is his lane. Maybe he actually has something here. I don't know.